Hey everybody, welcome my fellow gamers on this May the 4th. As we all know, this is like the official, unofficial Star Wars Day here in, the world that we call Earth. So yeah, and May the 4th be with you. We appreciate you guys joining us today. We are going to continue our Force and our Force and Destiny. I also picked up the Star Wars Edge of the Empire beginner box recently, so we can kind of take a look at that for some content. But we are making another character today under the Star Wars role-playing game by Fantasy Flight Games. And our reference miniature today is this beautiful little guy who kind of looks like he could be a smuggler. As a matter of fact, he is a smuggler miniature from Fantasy Flight's Imperial Assault. So, but we're going to make him Force sensitive, possibly even a kind of like a fallen Jedi or an undercover Jedi of some sort, who much like Kanan from Star Wars Rebels in the beginning, he kind of hid the fact that he was a Jedi. And maybe we can do that with this guy. He kind of goes out and scouts out stuff for the rebellion or for individuals, but he keeps his Jedi training and history a bit of a secret and only really calls upon it in dire need. So, but it's a cool looking miniature though. What did you think when you first opened it, Leona?
Oh yeah, no, I liked it.
Yeah.
I like the action pose.
Yeah.
His nose is big.
Is it?
Yes.
He has a
big nose.
Okay. I didn't notice that. I thought it was funny when Leona was looking at this miniature. She's like, "This is a really good miniature."
Yeah.
like the quality is really good, and
the detailing on all the straps and the things on the inside of his vest,
Yeah.
I was actually really impressed with, because a lot of times those things don't get molded very well.
Right.
And so that's why I thought it was really good.
Yeah, this sculpt is really good. So, on that note, we did post this up earlier. Leona posted it up on the Facebook page, and some people actually put down a name for this character. We have a few suggestions, and we will take more as you guys in the chat decide to, throw out some more names. But we have Mayhew Farthing as one, Farabeen Shaw, or Bith Sunless so far. And those are all really good names. Very, very Star Wars-esque.
Yes.
I think I'm going to say those were good names. This other one doesn't want to light up now. He's being difficult. Beep. There we go. Got our Sith lamps set up. But if you guys have another name suggestion, please put that in the comments. I am going to really quick share this broadcast, and if you guys would be so kind as to share this as well, if you're a member of Star Wars role-playing group or anything like that, it would be awesome.
So Nick says, "Oh snap! I spot an Ultra Saber. What color is it?"
Oh, what color? That's a silly question. This is
Dun, dun.
the only color in the universe, right?
Red.
Everybody. I mean,
It's hard to see it with the
it is
screen,
hard to
but-
see with the lights on us, but it is a red Sith Ultra Saber. I had the joys of picking this up at a Dragon Con a few years ago. I was like, yeah.
Also, Jeremy says he looks like Han Solo, Harrison Ford, which I said the same thing when we opened the pack. I was like, he looks like Harrison Ford. What? So I agree, Jeremy.
You're right.
He really does. It was like surprising to me, again, with the mini. I don't know if it's his thick eyebrows. I think that's part of it.
His thick eyebrows?
Yes. Also, Jeremy says Bith for the win.
Bith is a cool name. I don't know if Bith Sunless.
Yeah, I don't like the last name. But
Sunless,
that's just me.
I mean, it's S-U-N, but it definitely puts him in the shadows, right? But is that what we want? Could be.
Could be.
I don't know. But one of the things I thought was neat, looking through the Edge of the Empire beginner box, there was a cool smuggler in here.
Bum, ba-dum.
It's literally the guy, the miniature.
Oh.
It's
Oh, wow. It's
Yeah.
art for him.
It's art for him. So Pash is the name of this miniature, but as a smuggler,
Okay.
using that character build, and his character is really cool. He's got a really cool background. It says it's been a hard run for the smuggler, conman, and rogue known only as Pash. First, he was ejected from Imperial Flight School for insubordination. Makes sense, which is apparently a fancy word for stealing a shuttle for a quick flight around the planet when bored one day. Then his favorite speeder bike was impounded when he fell behind on his debt payments. Then Pash was arrested for grifting on the streets of Aldera on the planet Alderaan. Then he was transported for hard labor in the spice mines of Kessel. Man, this guy's had a rough life. Which was apparently some Alderanian noble's way of getting back at Pash for something involving the noble's daughter. This guy has led a very adventurous life. So the miniature is truly Pash, the smuggler, but we want to give him Force sensitive powers using the Force and Destiny rules. But this guy's pretty cool right here. And it's funny that it didn't come with any miniatures in the starter box because obviously that's him. Then there's Oscara, a Twi'lek bounty hunter in there, and then the last character is no, there's two more characters. Sorry, another one is 41 Vex, a colonist droid, which is kind of cool, and then Lorik, so me, a Wookiee hired gun. And he just looks beast mode. He actually looks like, if I were to cosplay as a Wookiee, that's probably where I would go.
Oh, yeah. There you go. William did make a good point. Pash has a long coat, and the miniature has a spacer vest.
A spacer
so
vest.
they do look a
True.
little bit different.
They do look a little bit different.
It's
You're
a
right.
good eye.
But it's funny is the collar's the same. He's got all the same gear on his chest.
It really,
and
yeah.
the goggles and everything, and he's even holding the gun relatively
same
the
way.
same.
Yeah.
It's
So he
kind of
put on
funny.
a different coat.
Yeah, maybe he owns more than one coat. He could. He could own more than one coat, this guy. Start here. Interesting.
All right.
There's lots of cool stuff with these guys, so let's get to it, though. I do think Bith is a cool name for this particular character, Bith. And he is a human. So let's take a look at, if you guys have the Force and Destiny core rulebook, pull it out. Obviously I can use all the help I can get when it comes to these character builds.
Yes, we can.
Wow, the vote of support back there is the best.
Also, Levi says hello, and Justin says, I say keep it one namer, Morg.
Morg,
Morrg.
a one namer. Would Biff as a one namer be kind of bad? Does it sound more like Biff?
Also, Kurt asks, is Bith a race?
Oh, yeah,
I think it is.
I think it is too.
I think the Bith are the aliens that are playing in the cantina scene in the first
I
Star
believe
Wars.
that is correct.
Whoops. Thank you, Kurt.
Maybe he's just like, my name is
Bith.
I was like, what? That makes no sense. All right. Let us build our character. Starting at page 40, character creation. Ooh, has a good picture of Ahsoka Tona. Ahsoka. Our species obviously is, or could be human. It could be something else. So let's find our species options.
Levi says Morton, Moreton. And again, with the Morrg, Morg. If we're going for like a one-namer
A one namer.
type thing. Brent is another option.
Okay. Bith for the loose then.
For the lose, yeah.
For the lose, yeah. I mean, Bith is a cool name, but now that we think about it, it is another race. It also is kind of reminiscent of Biff from Back to the Future, and he's just kind of a jerk.
This character just goes around calling everyone butthead.
Yeah. Knocks him, hello, butthead. Anybody there? Yeah. Brent or Morton is pretty good. I think
Shane says Nett FLixx.
Ooh.
FLixx. Net with 2 T's.
Is that Shane Bowler?
Yes.
I think Shane Bowler just won. I think he just won character name. Nett ENTT.
Yes.
FLixx.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. If anyone would name it Netflix, it would be you.
And if you're listening, Netflix,
we will sponsor.
We've got some shows for you, my friends.
So if you want to hire this character to come out and work for you, is it cost $8.99 a month?
Well, yeah. Absolutely. In hard currency.
Melissa says, I vote yes to that.
Yeah, that's possibly this. Brought to you in part by the letter S. All right, so we get to determine his background real quick. So we have cultural backgrounds where he's comfortable with tech, primitive backwater, the privileged few. Even in on affluent worlds, there are individuals who enjoy lives of greater privilege than most. On worlds where basic necessities are precious, there exist some members of society who never want for those essentials. For children, a life of privilege is most often a quirk of birth. Generally, their families somehow earn the rank and lifestyle, and they benefit immensely from being born into it. I kind of feel... What are your guys' thoughts on that? Do we want them to come from a very tech-savvy world, a primitive backwater world, or the privileged few? There's also the poor and hungry, so as far as his background goes. But I like the idea that this character comes from he has never wanted for anything growing up. Once he identified as Force-sensitive, went to Jedi training or went through some sort of Jedi training, but had to let go, just wash his hands of that history of his family's wealth, his name, or not so much his name, but his whole. He just has to let it go, and in that he has learned how to cover himself into different scenarios where he can be portrayed as a smuggler or as a tech person, or he's really affluent in a lot of different content. Nett FLixx. Wait. $12.99 if you want premium quality backup. That's right.
Yeah.
No, I do like that. So what do you guys
Levi
think?
says tech savvy.
Tech savvy?
I actually was thinking he would be someone from a poorer background who kind of had to work his way up, but
with a name like Netflix, he's rolling in some bank.
That's true. That is true. I forgot about the name. Yeah.
The family.
You're
FLixx.
Right. Yep.
His family.
The FLixx family.
They made their money in entertainment.
Yeah, there you go.
Made their money in entertainment. However, couldn't. They just. I'm trying to think of how that would work. They find out that their son has these abilities. He goes off to be trained, and then I kind of feel like
he is the family remote control.
Yeah, no, but what was that movie? The Bugs. Would you like to know more? Come on, Rico.
Starship Troopers?
Starship Troopers, yeah. Man, my brain just wasn't clicking right there because we're thinking Star Wars. But, yeah, in Starship Troopers, remember how his family, he came from a family of wealth and privilege, but he wanted to go and join the military, and they're like, oh, if you join the military, we're going to disown you, and da-da-da-da. Let's say that's kind of the same thing with this character. He grew up as a very young child hearing about the legends and myths and the adventures that the Jedi have. He finds out that he is Force positive, gets his letter to Hogwarts, and is like, I'm gonna go. And his family's like, no, we need you to stay here, and you're the heir to the Empire.
To the FLixx Empire.
Yeah, to the FLixx Empire. And he's like, I don't want to do that. I would just want to sing. And he goes off to be a Jedi.
And Levi asks, so is he a bard? LOL.
He might have some pipes on him. He might be able to sing, carry a tune or two.
Shane, this one's great. The FLixx family. They're the family that streamed the Kessel Run in less than 11 parsecs.
Yes.
That's great.
These are all. This is making this character amazing.
Yes.
And this will. And I also feel like this character would be the leader.
Yeah.
Of this group that we're putting together.
Because since he had all that background of like prominence and stuff.
I feel like his diplomacy would be really good.
Yeah.
Hold on.
The live
There's
broadcast.
no internet right now.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, did we drop?
Yeah. It says it's still streaming now, but...
Wait 1 second. Let me reload. It says live stream offline. It said offline. Oh, Justin says he wants to be like his uncle MTV. MTV.
Back up.
Okay, we're back up.
All
We
right.
are live.
So that's funny as he wants to be like his uncle MTV. I think his uncle isn't MTV. His droid is MTV.
There you go.
M
Tev, yeah.
T E -V for 5, but so Roman numeral 5. Yes, MTV. That's cool. Man, now I want to.
He even has a droid. Wow.
Well, we can make a droid character.
There you go,
And
yeah.
call him MTV. Come on, MTV.
All right, so his cultural background is
I think
affluent.
Yeah, affluent. Yeah, so he's going to come from the privileged few. And then it goes into like his calling to, or association with the Force, is the next part of his background. We'll go with the privileged few. We can come back to that, and then the next part is experiencing the Force. He could, I want to go with like he's one with the Force. You have options. Here they are. You have an ancient religion. More than 20 years ago, then Supreme Chancellor Palpatine wiped out the Jedi before them. He did so. The Jedi were figures of whom many people had heard of, but with whom few had ever interacted. So there's the ancient religion aspect of it. There's the duty to tradition, but this character doesn't have duty to tradition through his family ties. The pragmatic power. Characters who recognize their Force potential do not always readily acknowledge its spiritual associations. Some see their powers and talents as tools. But I feel like one with the Force, and that's why he wants to. He breaks away from his family because he is so deeply grounded in the Force, or finds that he's just a part of it, and he realizes it. The Force does influence his every actions. These characters constantly perceive the world through its lens, and it decides their every thought. Often their education has included a thorough grounding in Force philosophy, so they choose to act with deliberate devotion to the light or dark side of the Force.
Okay.
Like, almost, I don't want to say like zealot level, but just truly accepts that the Force is the path, and they are being, pulled by it.
And but he also likes guns.
Yeah, he's okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Levi says the family is makers of the movie Sith Sense.
Sith sense.
I see Jedi people.
I see Jedi.
And then there's the heeding of the call. Fleeing the Empire, desire for understanding with great power. Some individuals cannot stand idly by while watching the evils of the Empire inflict on the galaxy. Ultimate ability. Some characters see their strength abilities as a sign that they are destined for greatness. and maybe that could be his thing. He doesn't want to be in the shadow of his family's empire of stuff. Because these are the things that, like in Star Wars, you don't really see a lot of. Is like, but you did kind of see a little bit in the Last Jedi, where they went to the casino world, or not the world, just that one part of the world that had a big casino, where you did see that the companies that make the X-wings also make the TIE fighters, and that there are those organizations, like any civilization has their empires of business and stuff. So he doesn't want to follow in the shadow of his family's influence of entertainment. He wants to blaze his own trail and basically make a name for himself through the Force, because the Force is leading him down that path. So I kind of feel like ultimate abilities might be a thing that is his his driving force.
And Shane says maybe he spent summers and holidays on the Canto Bite planet, that planet from The Last Jedi, where all the rich people. Yeah, so exactly what you said. Yep.
Yeah, the Canto Blight.
Sorry, I said that one wrong.
Yeah, that's okay. The planet from The Last Jedi where all the rich people hang. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
And is he, have we decided if he's, really good or light side?
I kind of feel like he would almost, he went through the training, of a Jedi, but he's like, I don't necessarily need to follow that path. Or maybe even within the Jedi Order, instead of wearing the robes and carrying the lightsaber and being very much that person, he has been selected within the Jedi Order to go and almost like an infiltrator of some sort.
Okay.
And that's why he kind of runs the path of smuggler / Jedi spy, maybe.
Okay. Because, I also see, maybe his family having influence with the Empire, and he does not like that, and so that's another reason why he decides, I don't want to be in charge, because I don't want to have to deal with...
Yeah. I don't want to have an affiliation with this, because I feel like it leans to one side. Yeah. And, I can see that. All right, so next thing we have to choose is morality. And that requires a D100, and it can fall on here. And then we have to choose their emotional weakness. Okay. All right. So using 2D10, I will do this. I've got, so the pink one will be, the 10s, and then the 1s as the blue. Let's see what we get. 30.
Also, Levi says maybe he uses the Force for his advantage, and he just uses the Force to his advantage. And then also Shane notes there's a term called gray Jedi.
Yeah, the gray Jedi. Kind of walks the middle line.
Which is maybe more of this guy.
Yeah, he may fall under that. So 30 is enthusiasm. So our emotional strength is enthusiasm. The character is always ready to try something new, and he approaches all of his tasks, even mundane ones, with excitement. He's not one to overthink a situation, lest he miss a great new opportunity. So he lets the Force guide him. And he's very enthusiastic about the Force. Yes, I have it. I don't necessarily need to show off, because it's just going to take me where I need to go. It's like a feather on the wind.
My name's Nett. I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
What was that called?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm, okay.
As their emotional strength. But we also have to have his emotional weakness. Because every Jedi, has that balance. Yes. And if you continually fall into your weakness, you can potentially become a dark Jedi. And now we go weakness. Ooh, this is going to be scary. Because some of these are really tough, like anger, jealousy, fear, recklessness, hatred, weakness, obsession, arrogance, coldness, greed, cruelty, obstinance. There's a lot. If I were to pick one for Johnny on here, it would be obsession.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Johnny,
What?
what kind of shirt you got underneath there?
Well, what is this?
Yeah, that's Star Wars. What's underneath it?
It's a Star Wars shirt made out of bed sheets from 1980. What are you saying?
He's not even listening to what I'm. You have another Star Wars shirt underneath that one too, right?
Maybe.
And then you have shoes, Star Wars shoes on, right?
All right, what are you getting at here?
Obsession.
Says the
It's
man
May
with
4th,
the
it's Star Wars
What?
Day.
says the guy with the 2 helmets, the Ultra Saber.
Props. All right, so we got 51 for the other die roll here. Ooh, obsession.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So does that mean like he just gets fixated on anything, or does it says is it something in?
Well, let's read what it says, and then we'll spin it into his background.
Got it.
Sometimes interest in something can turn to obsession, if not tempered with reason. The character can slip into an obsessive state about his need to discover information, accomplish a goal, or even defeat a rival, and he may ignore all else until success is his. So we don't have to even make that obsession a singular obsession. It could literally just be the thing that they're most fixated on at the time. If it is a villain, fixated. If it is a lost knowledge, fixated. You know, that could be, you know, his companions have to remind him that, hey, Captain, or hey, leader, we get it, but there's other things that we have to be, you know, aware of in our surroundings so that, you know, we don't kill off all these people or by destroying this ship that the guy's on, it's going to affect the supply lines to this planet. You know, all sorts of big picture stuff that he may lose when he puts those blinders on.
Yeah,
And focused.
that makes sense. It kind of reminds me of the captain in Firefly. He did that.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Malcolm?
Malcolm, yeah.
Yeah.
From Firefly.
He kind of has that aspect where it's like
A little bit.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
I think. Not exactly, but
That's true. So after that, morality in play. They give some examples. Select a species. So human is one. Syrians, which is not what this character is. This is a human. Humans are the most common form of sentient life in the galaxy. Physiology, they look like that guy on the turntable. Homeworld, the precise origin of human life has been lost to the ages. Most scholars believe that the species originated from somewhere within the core worlds, arguably Coruscant. However, humanity embraces star travel a very long time ago, founding colonies on every habitable world they could. Human cultures now exist in countless different planets. So their dice pool, or their characteristics, are literally 2s across, all across the board. 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So they're brawn 2, agility 2, intellect 2, starting off. That's before we take our starting XP, which is 110 with this character. 110 XP for spending to buy up stuff, which, if we remember last time, it's freaking expensive.
yes. It hurts a little.
Right? I don't want to spend all that money. Shane said something about that Wikipedia covers the whole gray Jedi, or gray had 2 meanings. First, it was used by Jedi and Sith to describe Force users who walk the line between. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I actually like the gray Jedi code. I've seen it around. It's pretty neat.
Do what you want.
What?
I said, is it do what you want?
No.
Gray.
Maybe. Special abilities. Humans start the game with 1 rank each in 2 different non-career skills of their choice. They still may not train these skills above rank 2 at character creation. So I get 2 non-career skills. So we're just plus 2 non-career skills. But now we got to pick a career, and then based on that, I'll start spending the experience points to see if we want to raise up some of these abilities and stuff. I know that we will want to. Select a career and specialization. It's basically what do we want to be and who do we want to be. So there's the counselor. The counsel role focuses on the goal of achieving peace and harmony through positive discourse. I don't.
No.
Nah. So skip the counselor. The guardian. Adherents of the guardian career are driven by a strong sense of responsibility and compassion. They recognize their affinity for the Force gives them the power and responsibility to help the helpless and to aid the oppressed.
That could work.
Guardian is a really good concept. What do you guys think? Because then, of course, there's the peacekeeper, the protector, the Soresu defender. Then there's the mystic. I don't feel that the mystic is really this character. Characters who follow the mystic career are typically born to accept this mantle from the time they first open their eyes. A strong connection to the Force colors their perception of the world surrounding them. They constantly perceive the ebb and flow of its energies between all living things. To many mystics, the Force is as important a guide and mentor as their family and trusted friends. It teaches them to trust their instincts more than any training or instruction, for those instincts come from the Force. That also kind of fits what we were
It does.
kind of building this character in.
It does. Mystic or guardian?
Mystic
Is that kind of the two?
There's also the Seeker. It is not uncommon for some Force adepts to feel compelled to travel throughout the galaxy to aid those in need and to oppose those who use the dark side. While some might focus their attentions in cities and urban centers, the need can be just as great far from the heart of galactic civilization. A Force adept who is willing and able to travel and work in these environments can help ease crushing poverty or crippling plagues. Again, the Seeker is also a good one. But
So Seeker, Mystic, or Guardian?
But here's the thing. The character we made previously
Who was a Seeker?
was a Sentinel Artisan. So we could go Seeker, Mystic, Guardian. And then we won't go with Sentinel because we already have one. And then, of course, there's just the straight-up Warrior.
Yeah. It's all gone.
And it says, though the lightsaber is an iconic weapon for many Force users, some dedicate themselves wholly to becoming paragons of strife. These dangerous individuals are known as warriors. At their most basic, warriors are focused combatants who use the Force to augment their prodigious martial powers or prowess. Whether flying in the pilot seat of a starfighter, wielding a lightsaber on the field of battle, or blazing away with a blaster pistol, warriors excel in combat of all types. Though warrior is a cool concept, I don't feel warrior would be best suited for this character. I think a warrior will be another character.
Okay.
Because I literally think a squad of Force-sensitive characters would be really cool. Just saying. 50 Shades of Grey Jedi. Somebody by the name of Johnny Rose. Remember when he used to work here?
Oh my gosh.
So for those of you watching, between Guardian, Mystic, or Seeker, which one of those three
What were they the choices for? His...
Guardian, Mystic, or Seeker.
Right.
And then after we pick the career, then we'll pick their specialty.
So that's the career?
Yeah, the profession.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the specialization underneath the profession. And so for Guardian, there's the Peacekeeper, the Protector, or the Soresu Defender. And for the Mystic, there is the Advisor, the Makashi Duelist, or the Seer. And then the Seeker has Pathfinder, Hunter, and a Taru Striker. So there's a bunch of different types.
Justin says Mystic.
Okay. Gretchen says Seeker. So we have one Mystic, one Seeker.
Shane says Seeker.
Shane says Seeker. Shane Bowler says Seeker again.
Spelled correctly.
Oh, Seeker.
Seeker.
Yes. So we just need one more option. As far as like if Seeker gets another vote, then Seeker it is. Mystic needs 2 more, and Guardian needs 3 if we want to go Guardian. So the first one to 3.
Oh, Kurt says Seeker. Okay.
Kurt goes Seeker. So
then not Seeker. No, I'm just joking.
Kurt's votes don't count.
oh wow, so much. I mean, he's a ghost in the machine.
Yeah, it's true.
Human.
Yeah, but our friend Gretchen's in there, and so her vote cancels out his.
Yes.
Didn't she say Seeker?
She said
Yeah.
Seeker. Kurt says fair.
All right, so under the Seeker, we can now pick our specialization. And the Seeker specializations are the Ateru Striker, probably Hunter, or Pathfinder.
The internet cut out.
Okay.
Sorry.
Internet problems in the building lately for some reason.
Do you think it's because we're doing the RS, the RT, RO?
I don't know. I don't think so. I've been getting notifications that say like no service on my phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, here we're back.
All right, we're back. Cool. We're having some internet issues here for some reason. I don't know. Facebook must not be liking us again. We had some difficulties with them yesterday.
The force is not with us right now.
Yeah, we need everybody to focus, channel your force energies into the positive stream here. All right, so the 3 specializations that we can choose from the Seeker path are the Ateru Striker, which is when working alone in a hostile environment, every physical conflict must be resolved quickly and decisively. Frequently, an uncivilized planet completely lacks any sort of medical facilities. In fact, at times, an isolated explorer could be the only sentient being on the world. In such a situation, a minor injury can be deadly if a conflict is necessary. It is better to resolve it quickly, taking whatever risks are involved, than to fight more conservatively and prolong the risk of injury. The Ateru Striker embraces this approach, throwing himself into combat with every fiber of their being. Yikes. The Hunter, far from the civilized parts of the galaxy, there are many predators that can endanger sentient life. Blah, 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 blah. Hunters are force adepts who are uniquely capable of tracking, confronting, and slaying these creatures, particularly those who hide in the wilds far from civilization. And then, of course, the Pathfinder. A Pathfinder can survive in a hostile wilderness for weeks or months, living off the land with minimal supplies, and possibly a faithful companion animal. In fact, some Pathfinders are said to be able to bond with their companions through the Force, communicating with them mentally, seeing through their senses, and even directing their actions. I kind of like that. The Pathfinder.
Yeah.
I'm like Pathfinder or Hunter are the 2 that I would be more lenient to.
Okay.
The Ateru Striker just seems like awesome, but
a bit
not
intense.
More intense than this character really is.
Yeah.
Justin says they find our lack of bandwidth disturbing. We do too. I don't know if it's bandwidth. I mean, we have a dedicated line and server here, so it shouldn't be that. It could be any other thing. Kurt says Pathfinder. So the first specialization to 3 votes wins between the Ateru, the Hunter, or the Pathfinder. We have 1 for Pathfinder so far, so if you guys could just ante up your votes. I'm still thinking Pathfinder, but I want it to be, the community to let us know what it is. So please tell me, because that'll also depend when we go to actually spend the experience points. Like,
Right.
where do we
I
want to
understand.
drop something in their characteristics and then on their skills tree?
Justin says Pathfinder.
Uh-oh. That's 2.
Starfinder.
Can't talk about that game. I think Pathfinder is currently on Netflix. If you guys didn't know that, the movie with Carl Urban, where he plays a Viking child who gets left in the New World and then grows up to adulthood, and then the Vikings return, and he has to save the Indian people, the indigenous people that he.
Oh.
Yeah.
Carl Urban was in that?
Yeah, he's the
I need
main.
to check that out. I love him as an actor.
Awkward.
He just likes his acting.
He was in Lord of the Rings. He was in Dread. Dread was amazing. So I'm just going to stop right there.
He was in
I
Red
don't
2.
even need to go on.
He was in Red 2. He was in Chronicles of Riddick.
One of the Mission Impossible films.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of good stuff. He's Dr. McCoy on this new Star Trek run. Did I say Star Trek? I said it again.
Get out.
Get out of here. So what are some other votes out there? We need one more for Pathfinder for it to be the winner, 2 for the Ateru, or 3 for the Ateru, 3 for the Hunter. What do you think, Johnny?
I say I'm just going to go with the majority and say Pathfinder.
Pathfinder? Leona?
Pathfinder.
I like Pathfinder too. So that's technically 5 votes for Pathfinder. Pathfinder it is. All right. So that makes this character wicked awesome. Just so you all know. Now I got to go find again how much it costs to boost up stuff for the characteristics. It was like,
It's like
times 10. Ugh.
for each level or something, right?
Yeah. So if I want to go from a 2 to a 3, it would cost 30.
Yeah, I think.
Yikes. I just want to make sure that's correcto.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I do too. All right, so after that, well, Pathfinders get medicine, ranged, light, and resilience and survival. So they get medicine, ranged light as far as their combat. Each without spending starting experience points. So if these are acquired additional skills, all right, I needed to. That's the one thing about this game is trying to figure out, the skill bases here as far as like what do you start with and everything. So humans, because he's human, he gets +2 non-career skills, and then just because he's a seeker. Knowledge, xenology, piloting, planetary piloting, space, ranged. This character may gain a rank in 3 of these skills. Oh, Kurt said Pathfinder again. We already picked Pathfinder, Kurt. This guy. So just so you guys know, Kurt used to do a show here with us called Painting Happy Little Minis before he became one with the machine and is now a ghost in the machine. So if you see him online, it's a ghost. It's not really him anymore. We miss you, Kurt. R.I.P.
Kurt's not dead.
So of those, I get to pick 3 skills without spending experience and gain a rank in any one of those 3 without spending any experience, and gain a discount on increasing them with future experience points. Seekers begin the game with a force rating of 1. All right, so force rating of 1. So I would pick ranged heavy. We got to have that. We got to pick, I like vigilance. And I also like survival. Because he doesn't need to pilot anything.
Nope.
We're gonna have a pilot.
Yep. He's in
Kurt's
charge.
not dead. Kurt is. So now we go back over here. As a Pathfinder, they acquire as additional career skills. If this is the character starting specialization, he may choose 2 of these skills and gain 1 free rank in each without spending starting experience. So ranged light, he already has survival. And then there's also medicine. But I'm going to go survival again. So he gets, I have 2 free ranks in that. So he can survive.
Okay.
And then ranged light. So he can pick up and shoot the small weapons as well. All right.
All those small weapons.
Yeah. And then because he's a human, I can pick 2 non-career attributes. And I feel like leadership is a good one for him.
Yes.
And there's negotiation or I don't know. I think negotiation. He learned that from his family.
Yeah, I think that works.
Okay.
From the Empire. The FLixx Empire.
The FLixx Empire. Our Nett FLixx Empire.
No, it's just FLixx because his name is Nett.
His name is Nett. That's right.
Unless it's like a family name. He's Nett
all
FLixx
all
the
males
fifth.
are Nett. Mm-hmm. But they just add a new T at the end.
Yeah.
So he is the second.
Yes.
He's a junior.
The second son?
He's the
Or is he the second?
the second. So
first.
his dad is
his
Nett
dad
with
is
1
Nett.
T, FLixx. He is Nett with 2 T's, FLixx. Thus representing the junior status
Yes.
that he has acquired.
There you go.
That's pretty silly.
It's a great backstory.
So I want to spend 30 points of my experience pool to take cunning up 1 to 3, which will drop us down to 80 experience points. And I feel like presence, as a leader, presence is important. And he has 2 presence-based skills.
Okay.
And so if we take presence up to 3 as well, that's another 30, which leaves us with 50 experience points for spending on the Pathfinder tree, which is not a lot. It's more than the other guy,
Okay.
which is good. The other character we made only, I think when we got to this point, he only had like 30 or 20 points to spend.
Yeah.
But this one can take grit right off the bat, keen-eyed, forager, and swift. That's 5, 10, 15, 20 right off the bat there. I think he should be at least good at all 4 of the base ranked stuff
Yeah.
on the tree. And then 5, 10, 15, 20, which gives us 30 points, which could put us at 3 of the next one. So keen-eyed, outdoorsman, and toughened. So he basically takes those, and that's his 50 points spent.
Okay.
And not a bad character,
No.
well-rounded in his path, which is super cool. Man, there's a lot.
He knows a lot, but he's also very experienced, toughened.
Yeah,
by
he's
by the
gone
world.
out and explored the world and traveled. His family allowed him that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And then getting put into the Jedi Order, they found that it was his, what he was good at. The Force has drawn him into those, though he comes from a family of privilege, wealth, and affluency, he finds himself more attuned to roughing it.
I can see that.
I like that. So that basically is our character for Nett FLixx, who's pretty awesome. So we're going to flesh him out a little bit more probably for the, there's not much more that I can really do with him outside of...
So just review and just tell us
Yeah.
again exactly.
Yeah. So our character's name is Nett FLixx, NettFlixx. He is a human seeker, specialization tree pathfinder, brawn 2, agility 2, intellect 2, cunning 3, willpower 2, resilient, presence 3. So his characteristic stats are pretty average, except for those 2 where he can interact with others. His skills are basically leadership, negotiation, survival, vigilance, and light and heavy weapon, ranged weapons. And that spent all of our experience points. So he's comes from being part of the privileged few. Like I said before, his family is very affluent and wealthy. He feels himself to be one with the Force, and his guidance is that for ultimate abilities. He wants to make a name for himself within the galaxy, kind of like Achilles. You know, he wants to live through the ages as a legend. But the Force will guide him and carry him through that. His emotional strength is enthusiasm. He takes on every task, be it the most menial, from tying his shoes to taking on a whole fleet of Star Destroyers with much enthusiasm and like pomp. Yeah. But his weakness is he becomes very obsessive and very tunnel vision-y when there's a task at hand. So he has to kind of allow his companions to help keep his, his focus more broad than just laser. So, but sometimes that obsession might be a benefit, to keep people on task. So that's him in a nutshell.
That's Nett FLixx.
That's Nett FLixx in a nutshell. And like I said, there's the miniature that's going to be his representation for this character. And for everybody in the chat that has participated, we thank you. It was so much fun getting all the comments and seeing Kurt floating about in the interwebs as he does, as a ghost in the shell, as he is. And Shane and Justin and who else was in there? Gretchen was in there.
Levi and Jeremy.
You guys, they're the best.
Thank
Levi,
you.
yeah. Who else was in there? Quite a few people.
Yep.
So we do appreciate it. Just as a reminder, it is May the 4th, so I challenge you all to go and watch a Star Wars-related thing today or read a Star Wars-related comic or book. And speaking of comics, tomorrow, May the 5th, so the Revenge of the 5th, will be upon you. Some of you may look at it as Cinco de Mayo and go and party in that capacity, but the biggest party tomorrow is Free Comic Book Day at your friendly local comic book store. So go out and check out all the cool offerings that are available. There's 50 plus books.
Yes.
That are a part of Free Comic Book Day this year. Every store is different in how they give away books on this special event, but there are lots to choose from all sorts of different publishers. So there's usually a comic that is available from Free Comic Book Day that will scratch any itch as far as whatever your fandom might be. If it's superhero, they got it. If it's drama, they got it. If it's kids, they got it. So go check it out at your local comic book shop. If you don't know where that's at, go to freecomicbookday.com, and they have a store locator right there for all the ones that are participating, and go to the one nearest you and check it out. Or go to multiple stores because, like I said, every store has their different way of giving out books. One store may give one of each away. One store may only give a few away. But if you go to a bunch of different stores and support them all, you'll probably go home with all 50, and that's pretty cool. But as far as the game that we were playing and doing our building character from today for Star Wars Force and Destiny's core rulebook, the role-playing game by Fantasy Flight Games, and also we had talked a little bit about Star Wars Edge of the Empire, which is altogether it's all one big role-playing universe, but each core book and each set kind of focuses on different races and classes and specializations. So there's a lot of cool content that you can draw from, and the best place to find all this stuff and even find other players is at your friendly local game store, that brick and mortar place that we all love to go to when we want to get our gaming fix. So go check out your friendly local game store. I'm going to give a shout out to one today. Check out, if you are in the Maryland area, go to Games and Stuff down in Glen Burnie. It is an amazing store. I went to their International Tabletop Day event this past weekend, and it was amazing. Also, Third Eye Games in Annapolis and Bel Air Games in Bel Air, Maryland. I'm just going to shout out to all the ones that I tend to frequent, even though there are literally thousands of game stores in the United States, and every single one of them is worth a look. Go check them out. On that note, this has been Building Character. I've been your host, Rick, and I'll see you at the game store.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Game Trade Media. Before you go, we wanted to tell you about our new book, The Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Games, which is available to pre-order right now.
You obviously love tabletop gaming, so do we. And this book provides a look at the history of all the different types of tabletop games, from card games like Magic the Gathering to role-playing adventures like Dungeons & Dragons, to the most classic of board games like Clue or the Game of Life.
Right. We've also got interviews with a lot of industry veterans like Peter Atkinson and influencers like Matt Mercer, plus discussions with collectors and gamers of all kinds. The book also discusses the impact of crowdfunding on the industry and looks into why board gaming is experiencing such a boom right now.
We put a lot of love, a ton as a matter of fact, into this book, and we like to think that it provides a perfect snapshot of what makes tabletop gaming and the tabletop community so great. You can pre-order your copy right now by using diamond code APR181585. So head into your local comic or game shop today and tell them you want the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Games.
Thanks for watching Building Character. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment below and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new content.